With Russian President Vladimir Putin banning Facebook and Twitter, Russia is effectively canceling big tech. In this video, we're going to look at why Russia's just blocked Facebook and sidelined Twitter. We're going to see how it's all part of a much larger Russian project to dislodge their entire internet technologies from the World Wide Web. And stick with me to the very end of this video when we'll find out how this is all part of an even far more colossal project that Russia's engaged in that's going to change the world forever. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Welcome to your Patriot Professor's Den, where I help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, make sure to click on that link below and support this channel by visiting our awesome merch store that has all kinds of t-shirts and swag for you and the patriots in your life. We've got our awesome line of Let's Go branded t-shirts, as well as our brand new Freedom Trucker shirts, our Rhino hunting shirts, you name it. It's all there just by clicking on the link below. The most common feedback that we get from our purchasers is how often random people are going to come up to you and give you super compliments on your shirts when you're wearing them out in public. It's just so awesome. Your purchases will, of course, be spreading Patriot hope as well as supporting this channel. So make sure to click on this link below or go to store.turleytalks.com. That's store.turleytalks.com. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. As I'm sure you know, banning everything Russian seems like it's becoming nothing less than an American and European pastime. Everything from MasterCard and Visa to the SWIFT worldwide financial transaction platform to the Paralympics, from Nike products to even the Met firing a Russian opera singer. Banning all things Russian is becoming something of a national sport. Well, now it's Russia's turn. Russia has begun its banning retaliation, and at the top of the list is nothing less than big tech itself. Russia's officially banned Facebook and is radically restricting Twitter. In a very bold move over the weekend, Russia's communications regulator accused Facebook of censoring Russian media and discriminating against Russian information sources. At issue, of course, is the infamous Facebook fact check that apparently was used to consistently harass Russian-sourced reports, and Facebook's blocking the Russian media outlets RT, that's Russia Today, and Sputnik News. That didn't help either. Facebook's president of global affairs, Nick Clegg, posted a statement on his Twitter account in response to the Kremlin's Facebook shutdown, saying, quote, "Soon millions of ordinary Russians will find themselves cut off from reliable information, deprived of their everyday ways of connecting with family and friends, and silenced from speaking out. We will continue to do everything we can to restore our services so they remain available to people to safely and securely express themselves and organize for action." Now, for its part, Twitter has confirmed that its services have been significantly restricted, though not cut off entirely. And we should note that this banning of big tech, as it were, actually appears to be part of a much larger Russian project of actually disconnecting from the global internet. Next to TV, which is the largest Eastern European media company, is claiming that documents detail that Russian officials began active preparations for disconnecting their internet technologies from the worldwide internet. Apparently, all servers and domains in Russia must be transferred to the Russian zone by March 11th. All right, that's this week. Now, this has been going on for some time now. Deutsche Welle reported back in January of 2018 that Russia was already moving towards the creation of a totally independent internet, installing its own root servers within its own geographical and political spheres. So DW didn't know it back then, but you got to wonder if that was all part of the preparation for this so-called special military operation in Ukraine. Russian officials obviously knew that Western powers in the U.S. and EU would weaponize the world's financial structures against them, and so it looks like they have prepared. They have the servers installed and ready to go to shift their entire internet technologies into their own Russian sphere. And so it looks like expelling Silicon Valley from the Russo sphere was already baked in the cake, as it were, in terms of Russia planning out this mission in Ukraine. That said, it's very interesting in retrospect that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been very, very critical of big tech recently. In a virtual meeting with the World Economic Forum, Putin actually warned that big tech monopolies were in the process of taking power that could indeed allow them to supersede the very power of nation states. And that's because big tech policies are becoming a direct threat to national sovereignty and the rule of law. In other words, sovereign nations have their own laws that define what is and what is not acceptable speech. Russia, Poland, Hungary, India, right here in the United States, we have what's called the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. In order for you to be able to broadcast your program on television or the radio, you do have to comply with FCC standards. However, there are a number of programs that fully comply with FCC standards, but they're not allowed to live stream on Facebook. And that's because they're guilty of wrongthink. They're conservatives. They have the wrong political ideas, so they're effectively banned by Silicon Valley. And so what more and more nations are doing is they're rising up and saying to big tech, you know, you can feel free to come on in and serve our citizens, no question, but you had better respect our laws. Your Silicon Valley oligarchs don't get to impose your leftist sentiments on our laws, period. That's in effect that's the argument that Putin made. And in line with that, the Russian billionaire Konstantin Malafeev, a conservative Russian Orthodox activist, just a few months back, he actually wrote an open letter to President Donald Trump calling for both of them to join forces in building a free speech social media platform that have the effect of burying Google once and for all. Malafeev made it clear in his open letter that these big tech tyrants aren't just going to be regulated. They're doing that already in Russia. They need to be ultimately defeated with superior free speech platforms. So clearly, both the Russian government and its prominent conservative activists have no love for big tech in Silicon Valley. And now, well, we can see that the days of Silicon Valley and the Russosphere have indeed largely come to an end. So what on earth is going on here? Well, obviously, if you've been following my videos of late, obviously I believe something much, much bigger is happening than just the supposed suppression of free speech, which is what all the mainstream media outlets are saying about the bans. This is but the latest development in Russia's intentional building of what scholars call a civilization state. A civilization state is a totalizing political, economic, and cultural sphere that in effect constitutes a massive, self-contained, self-sufficient life world. Russia appears to be in the process of very deliberately dislodging the totality of Russian life, its political, economic, and cultural life, away from Western globalist structures and control, and creating their own parallel, self-contained world. So they're constructing their own parallel economy, their own parallel currency, their own parallel financial platforms and services, their own parallel arts and entertainment, their own parallel internet structure and telecommunications, their own parallel sports leagues, parallel space travel, you name it. And of course, that includes their own parallel social media platforms, of which they have a number, most especially what's called VK, which is one of the top 10 most used social media platforms in the world. And so the invasion of Ukraine, or the special military operation, whatever you want to call it, it appears to be part of nothing less than a very deliberate rebuilding of a new holistic Russian world that is in effect declaring its independence from the globalist world order. Putin back in 2013 actually declared Russia to be, in his words, a, quote, civilizational state. In fact, you saw the rise of the Russian Orthodox Church as indispensable to inoculating the Russian Federation against the contagion of liberal ideas and Western nations. And so in the end, as it turns out, with Russia canceling big tech, it's becoming increasingly clear that it's not so much the globalist world order canceling Russia. Indeed, it is Russia that's canceling the globalist world. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video where I break down specifically why Vladimir Putin has invaded Ukraine. I think you're going to find it answers a lot of your questions. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.